Welcome back everyone to more of our gameplay of the new Alpine Farming Expansion. So we're here on the Erlengrot map, and I remembered after we stopped filming in the last video that, yeah, I gotta go get my truck. So we're gonna pick up the truck and then we're gonna get back to mowing some grass. We're gonna use our electric tractor for that. Let's see, first things first. We've already had a wreck, I mean, come on. We don't want to have another wreck. So let's hop out. Oh, hello. That didn't work out. There we go. So we're going to save our guy a little bit of effort today, and we're going to hop in the tractor instead of using the walk behind. All right, is this thing going to be on? Surely not. Okay, no. So we got to turn this bad boy on. Let's get up here real close. You can hear the mower. And a little bit of the whine, but that's about it. All right, so we're going to mow a little bit of grass today. I'm not going to try to get everything. I'm going to try to avoid the slopes to an extent, and also avoid the areas too close to, you know, rocks, that kind of thing. So we're just going to try to make a nice area around here, but oh, yeah, this thing does not like the hills. It doesn't like going up the hills. So we're good now, but when I first started up that hill, it didn't like it at all. So there's no way to, you know, avoid everything except for the flat terrain, but we're going to try to avoid the steeper areas. You know, keep away from any of the boundary areas, such as the fencing, which we've already seen does have collision, and we can run over it and get stuck. Not bad at all. This guy is, he is struggling. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Once we get up on top of the hill, now he can get on up there to the 12 miles an hour. But outside of that, he just doesn't have enough juice, it looks like, to maintain this pace. So right now I am using the auto speed. So we've got our cruise control on. And again, I'm going to try to avoid the very... Let's see, how far do we want to go here? We're going to avoid the extremes. So I'm not going to try to get down into that area. So our focus right now today is going to be to get a little bit of the grass mowed and make sure that we don't run out. So we're going to mow the grass. We're going to convert that into hay, which means that we're going to need the tedder next after we're done mowing. Let's avoid this rock, please. So yeah, a lot of things that really scare me about having the AI work on this field. But we have a nice amount of area to start off with. Make sure we don't run over the kids out here playing. But yeah, we've got plenty of area. Now, if you're new to the game or new to certain mods, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a pop-up window that you might not be used to seeing before if you're not familiar with mods or even certain mods. That's for auto drive, which I do plan on utilizing, particularly as a grid for the road structure later on, but I'm not using it right now. But it is loaded, and that's why you're seeing that window. We could get rid of it, but I don't think it's hurting anything. It's not really in the way on the screen right now. But yeah, not a whole lot of noise here. So this is definitely an experience if you're looking for a very laid-back, relaxed experience. Let's hop inside. I can't wait to get my wheel and pedal set hooked up for this. Very hard to drive for me inside when I'm using the keyboard and the mouse. Just doesn't feel right. Plus, seeing that steering wheel turn so much so quickly just doesn't feel right. So we'll save the cockpit view for more whenever we're using the wheel and pedal. But yeah, once we get up on top in a flatter area, or of course going downhill, yeah, this mower likes it a whole lot better than when we're trying to go up the hill. So just means that this is probably about the most we're going to be able to ask this particular mower to do. I don't think it's going to be comfortable pulling any sort of trailer, even if it's the beginning level trailers, the entry level. I don't see that working out too well. All right, but this is going pretty well. Of course, with a small working width, this is going to take quite a while. So right now, I'm actually going to cut the footage, and we'll be back in a little bit when it's time to hook up the tedder. All right, welcome back, everyone. So basically, we're finishing up one half of the mowing. So I continue mowing, and where we are now is I've actually hooked up the wheel and pedal set. So we're going to finish off this half of the land. We're going to get the tedder, and we're going to get going with that and start this drying process on the grass. So yeah, I'm using the G920, the Logitech G920 wheel and pedal set. As of right now, let's go ahead and get back on the outside view. So this is one half of the area taken care of, as well as a big portion actually, of the other side. So let's go ahead and get everything lifted, folded up, and so on. So now that part of the work is done, let's see, for now let's just go ahead and park this thing in there head first. Normally I would back this in, but for time purposes we'll go ahead and take care of that. Let's hop out. All right, so what are we going to use for the tedder? Now this, actually we could probably use the electric again, but I gotta tell you, I am really needing at this point that sound. I'm really needing that sound. So I am going to get that. Let's see, can we attach a weight? No, we cannot, not on this model. I didn't think we could. So let's go ahead and drive this bad boy over, and we'll take care of the tedder and we'll get started. All right, everything hooked up and we are well underway using our tedder. You notice that the grass behind us is turning a different color to indicate that it is being instantly transformed into hay. So what that means for us is that, I'm going to actually change our view just a little bit to give us more of a top-down view while I'm driving this thing around. But that's going to mean that as soon as we get done with the tedder, that we're going to be able to hook up the windrow and create those, and then finally bring in the loading wagon. Now obviously we're not going to get all of that done in today's video, but in the future we're going to try to get more of this done in one video simply by getting some better equipment, namely some wider working width, because that's going to enable us to get things done quicker. And if we can get things done quicker, that's going to mean we can get more done in each video. But for right now, we're going to focus on getting the remainder of this half of the field taken care of manually. Also, before we come back together for our third video, I am going to spend some time working with course play, maybe create a few courses, and just see in general how things go. Now I know it can work here. The question is, you know, how much can I push the limits as far as getting close to trees, rocks, and any other types of things like that. Oh, I see an area of grass I missed mowing. So because everything is on fast growth for the crops, then that means that each day we should be able to mow the grass. So the grass will continue to grow on a very quick pace. That's going to really help us out because it means that we're going to be able to use that to hopefully get some income going over the next few videos. And that will be important because that's how we're going to afford better equipment, more equipment, and also over time, the ability to expand. So right now, this is going to end up being a nice area of grass. Now, I do not believe we have any way of fertilizing using the basic equipment that we've been given. We do have $100,000 that we've started with, so we've got that going for us, but we do not have any fertilizer, so we'll need that to keep the yield high on the grass. But we may not have that overall. But here at the beginning, we've only got 10 cows, so we're going to need to find out exactly how much grass this is going to give us, how much it fills up the cows, and just how long that's going to last them, because that'll tell us how much more money we can spend purchasing additional cows. Now, there's a few different ways at this point we can make some money. Obviously, we have some options with, borrowing some more money. I'm pretty sure, I haven't checked yet, but I'm pretty sure this game start is going to have us with some debt at the very beginning. So we could choose to simply go through and borrow some more money. That would be perfectly fine and something we could get away with. But as much as possible, I want to try to use what we've got. We may need to borrow some just here at the very beginning, but then very quickly I want to get that paid off. And by the way, I am doing a terrible job with this tedder. I'm having a hard time. I may need to adjust this steering wheel sensitivity, because I am having a harder time getting this thing to go where I want. Almost feels like we've got some dead areas around the center line. So I'll have to make some adjustments to the dead zones, if any, and the sensitivity there. But we're moving along quite nicely. The good thing is, once we get going and the loading wagon starts to pick up the hay, any little sections of grass that we pick up will simply be converted and treated as hay. So it won't be a big deal overall. The game is very lenient to us like that, thank goodness. So you can see some of the areas where I'm missing, and it's still grass that remains, but we'll be perfectly fine there as time goes on. But we're going to want to purchase some more cows. We're going to have a few different ways of making money off of those cows as we continue to grow. First is the obvious way, that's the milk that they produce on a daily basis. But right now, that's going to be very little amount of money on a regular basis until we get a lot more cows. So that'd be a good reason that we would go ahead and spend some money that we borrow from the bank in order to go ahead and grow a little bit and get a constant source of income coming in. The second way is to breed the cows. The cows will breed faster the higher the percentage that they are producing, and that simply means the better the food we give them, the better care we give them, the better they will do overall, and the quicker that they will breed. We just have to remember to allow enough space in the barn for additional cattle. Aside from that, the breeding of the cows is really a lucrative business once you get it going, and then once you can get the milk substantial enough, then you're really in good shape on a daily basis. But we're a long way away from that at this particular point. Yeah, this thing really starts to move once you get it going downhill. So we're in a different tractor here, and that different tractor is, well, it is a much better option for sheer power. Now, I do think the electric tractor is going to be perfectly fine for our needs in this particular area and just for mowing the grass. But if we wanted it to do anything beyond that, I feel like it is going to struggle if it would be able to handle it at all. Yeah, that little area of grass that I missed is just going to annoy me every time we come by it. All right, so we are almost done here with the tedder. Can't wait to get Courseplay working on this area. Hopefully everything will go smoothly with that. I plan on doing that here pretty soon, because long term, if we're going to make any serious money and be able to expand, it's going to take the help of the AI workers. because we're simply not going to be able to work all of the land. Yikes, look out. Come on, come back over here. But how would you like to be able to work every day with the backdrop like this? I mean, this is what it's all about. Beautiful backdrop. All right, we might have, what, one more swipe through. I know we missed a little bit there on the other side. So we'll go ahead and swing around, finish this one up. And again, the game is going to be very lenient to us, so that any grass that gets left behind isn't going to be the end of the world. The game will simply treat it as hay once we get going, and the loading wagon is picking it up. All right, there we go. I believe that takes care of it, or at least the vast majority of it. So we're going to go ahead and turn the tedder off, get that thing raised up, and fold it back so that we can now take it back over and swap it out for the Windrow. I think when we get back over here to swap this thing out, I may make a few changes to where things are located. We're going to need to move some things around. Because my driving skills are not going to be all that great here at the very beginning. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to move this around. We're going to put this right over here. Let's just go ahead and drop this right over there. Because we've got some issues here. We've got some posts in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and use the steering on the keyboard for right now. All right, there we go. So now we've got the windrower. We're going to go ahead and take a shortcut up through here. We're going to unfold the windrow, and I'm going to make sure we get far enough down here that we don't start windrowing grass that has not been tethered yet. There we go. That ought to be perfectly fine. Get that lowered, turn that on, and we're off and running. So this is the beauty of when you're just getting started, particularly if you decide not to take a big bank loan and start producing and buying a lot of equipment, a lot of nice equipment early on, which is what I usually do, so that I can very quickly get to more of a industrial scale. But this is the beauty of starting out small. You get to do all the work yourself in equipment that is much smaller, less powerful, and provides a much more intimate experience as you are doing it. Unfortunately for me, I believe if I go back to the cockpit view, now in real life it could be done, but here in the game it is much more difficult for me to do this from the cockpit view, simply because I can't tell where we need to be. I don't have any markers without constantly turning around and doing it that way. And the working width here is very small compared to what I was expecting, even for starter level equipment. So that tells you how much and how long it's been since I've used the starter equipment. But you can hear this tractor is having no issue whatsoever with maintaining the speed. All right, let's try to line this up as best I can anyway. Okay, not too bad. It could certainly be better, but it's not the end of the world. All right, not too bad. So we'll finish this off for today, and then we'll come back next time and we'll finish up the process. But once again, this is a little bit quicker process than what we were dealing with on the mowing side of things. Not so much because of working with, but simply because this tractor is not having any issues keeping up at all. Yeah, this tractor is not struggling at all, nor would you expect it to, because I mean it's got an attachment of a tedder or a windrower, which are not exactly using a huge amount of power. In fact, one of the things I may do in the future is test out using the electric on these while I try to hook up the mower maybe to our second tractor and giving it an opportunity. Unfortunately, this tractor is not going to be able to be used for anything like that because you can't attach anything to the front. So that's going to hinder us on ultimately what we can use this particular tractor for. But it will work just fine for the basic field task that we're going to need it to do. It's just not going to be mowing for us. I've been eyeballing those fields over there because those are really looking nice, and I'm thinking about getting one of those in the near future. Again, we got to get some money first. But with fields like those that are basically flat, more or less, and have a nice clean shape to them, that's going to give us a lot of ability to just turn the AI loose in those areas where we can take care of areas like this should the AI encounter any particular issues. Yeah, this sound is just so much nicer. The electric is just going to take some getting used to. It's just not the sound I'm used to hearing from a tractor. So a little time will have to pass before I've gotten used to not hearing that wonderful sound of the engine as it hums right along. Ooh, look out. All right, we're missing some stuff. Yeah, my driving definitely needs some improvement. This is... I may have to go back to the keyboard and mouse if this keeps up. Or I'm just going to have to give in and stop using the cruise control and actually manually use the pedals. I don't know if you guys can hear the random sounds. Of course, Farming Sim is going to give you some environmental sounds, but when we go through the fields at random times, it will give us the sound. It sounds like bees or flies flying around. So the game is trying its best to give us the feel of being in the open air as best it can. Once again, I've gotten off on picking this grass up. I don't know who that was calling a second ago, but they're just going to have to wait. We're busy right now. Don't they know we're farming right now? I mean, we can't be bothered with phone conversations while we're on the tractor. But yeah, what a wonderful view. And to think about seeing this every day while you're out working, yeah, that's a sight to behold. And every time we turn the corner, we get a wonderful view. All right, see if we can take this corner relatively smoothly. All right, now I can't see anything. Let's get our view back adjusted. That's one thing I do wish I could get a little bit smoother. Is as we move up and down in the terrain, which of course is going to be a constant thing on this map, it would be nice if we could keep a consistent angle between us and the tractor instead of us and the ground. That's just not working out as good as I would prefer. All right, once again, tight turn. No slowing down. Stick with it. All right, here before too long, we'll be done with this area. Then we'll hop into next video. We won't have time today, but in the next video, we will hop into the loading wagon and finish up work on this particular field. All right, here we go. Spin it around. Tight turn. All right, that turned out not perfect, but honestly, it was better than I thought it was going to be. There's the train going by in the distance. I have turned up the drawing distance and detail as much as I can, so if you guys start to notice a lot of stuttering, then that's probably what it's from, just so that you guys can see as much detail as possible at distance while we're here on the map. I believe 200% is the maximum that you can use, and that's exactly what I have it tuned to right now. Once again, tight turn, and we made it. Yeah, if we decided to expand into the area just beyond the fencing right there, there is absolutely no way that we would want to use this equipment on that unless we wanted to spend literally in real time an afternoon working through all of this, and maybe even longer than that. But yeah, as we continue to expand, we're going to want some better equipment to do that. But what they've given us right now is exactly what we need to get started on a very small scale. And if you have tons and tons of time, then it'll work for as big a scale as you need it to. But there is no better way than Farming Simulator 19 to spend a relaxing afternoon. If you can't relax playing this game, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is my go-to whenever I need some time away from some of the other games that are more high pressure or more action driven, excitement, that type of thing. This is how I get away from that. Alright, so here in just a moment we will call it a day on this. Again, I'm not going to worry about getting literally every bit of hay. The good news is it stays on the field, so next time we come through and cut grass, we'll simply have the remainder of the hay sitting there, and it'll be included in the next batch. So it's not going anywhere. We're not losing anything. All right, I have taken cruise control off. So let's try to get this one last pass. Not a beautiful pass, but a pass nonetheless. This area, all right. So that'll do it. Let me just go ahead and shut the windrower off, pick it up off the ground, and finally we'll get that taken care of. So as we look around, looks like a job well done. Not the neatest job in the world, for sure, but remember, this is only half the field. The other half over there I'll work on a little bit later. In fact, my current plan is to use that to test out course play and see how that goes. But that's going to do it for today. As we drive away to put up the windrower, Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying our gameplay of the new Alpine Farming Expansion.